Hello everyone, I'm standing in here today because of reasons. It is pitch black outside whenever I get home from work and the lighting in there is bad. The other day I stumbled across a very interesting article which was about 10 reasons why you should read every day. The article is in Danish, so I'm going to link it down below in case you speak Danish and would like to read it yourselves. But for those of you who do not speak Danish, I would like to try and translate in this video because I thought that the 10 reasons were really interesting. And since we all love to read books, then I'm sure that you would be interested to read or hear about these reasons as well. So let me get started on the list. 10 reasons why you should read every day. First thing on the list, I have my moleskin notebook here, is your brain is stimulated whenever you read, which I believe is very true. Whenever you read, you imagine the story in your head and you imagine the characters, everything you just imagine in your head. And of course that stimulates your brain. The second thing on the list is that you actually become more intelligent when you read every day, meaning that you learn new things from reading, whether it's fiction or non-fiction. When you read non-fiction, you obviously learn facts and information about things, but when you read fiction, you learn about language and words and structure, and I believe that's just as important. So basically, reading makes you more intelligent, and who wouldn't want that? Third thing on the list is that reading reduces stress, which I think is so important, and I believe that that is true. Whenever I sit down to read, I can feel it in my body. I escape into this magical world, this fictional world, and I forget everything about my own life, which is great, by the way, but sometimes I do feel stressed out, and whenever I am able to forget about that stress, I relax. So I think this is a very important point in everyday life, just in general, because all of us know what stress is, and all of us need to learn to reduce stress, I believe. The fourth thing on the list is that books are entertaining, and they are a great substitute for TV and maybe video games or whatever else you can think of doing. I'm not saying that you should exclusively read books just because I do so. I mean, I do watch TV, but my preference is to read books whenever I feel like being entertained and whenever I'm not with my friends and family. Anyway, I do believe that books are a great substitute for TV just because it stimulates your brain, as I mentioned earlier, and it's just a great way of staying creative and staying on top of things whenever it comes to using your creativity and your brain, which I have already mentioned so many times, so let's move on. Number 5, whenever you read, you enlarge your vocabulary. Yes, I definitely agree with that, because I mainly read books in English, and that's because English books are cheaper and they are more accessible to me. And also I'm an English teacher, so I of course would like to become better at my language and enlarging my vocabulary, and I absolutely do that whenever I read books in English. And it's also happening whenever I read books in Danish, because we can all learn new words in our language and we can all enlarge in our vocabulary, so that's a great benefit from reading. Next on the list is number 6. Books are accessible and easy to find. There is no excuse for not being able to read, because books are everywhere. If you don't want to leave your home but you do want to read, there are ebooks, there are audiobooks as well. And if you do feel like going outside finding a book but you just don't have the money for it, then there are libraries, and that's just such a great place to go. I used to use my library a lot. Not a lot, but at least quite often. I don't do that right now just because I like to buy my own books and just get rid of them if I don't really like them. But basically, I'm in a situation where I can do that now. I couldn't do that some years ago. So, I mean, it's up to you. But all in all, there is no excuse for not picking up a book, because you can get them everywhere. Number 7, you enhance your memory, because whenever you read, you become better at remembering names, remembering places and situations. You need to remember those things if you want to be able to follow what is happening in the book. And I believe that the more books you read, the better you become at this. As of right now, I am more observant when it comes to details in my books. I notice them quickly and I remember them for some reason. And I know that some years ago that wasn't the case. I would read a book but often forget things just because I don't know why, but I was just not reading as much as I am right now, and I feel the difference. I may be better at remembering now. I don't know if that's the case, but I definitely do notice more details, and maybe it's because I know that I will have to remember them if I want to follow what is happening in the book. Number 8, you become better at languages. Yes, I mentioned this one earlier. I mainly read books in English and I feel like I have become better at English. Number 9, now this one is really interesting, I think. You become more inclined to succeed in life whenever you read every day. Billionaires read more books than the average citizen does. This has been proved in researches, and I find that very interesting because there must be some kind of connection between reading and intelligence and using your creativity and then using that in your life in general. I don't know, there must be, since the research claims this. Basically, if you read a lot of books, you might become a billionaire someday. Now that might be stretching it a little bit, but a connection between the two has been found. Last but not least, the 10th point of this list is that you can read everywhere, and this also connects to the fact that books are accessible everywhere, so that there is no excuse for not reading every day. You can read on your phone, you can read on your e-reader, you can read a physical book, or you can just listen to an audiobook. No reasons to not pick up a book every day, whether it's for 10 minutes, whether it's for an hour. It's up to you, but I definitely agree that reading every day can only be good to you. You can only benefit from getting through those pages. There are so many benefits from reading, and I hope that this list made you even more aware of the good thing that you're doing to your brain and to yourself while reading. So that's it for this list. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will be back again soon with another video. So until then, have a great day and happy reading.